have taught in the schools, I have coached, I've been an athletic director, a dean of students. I've done a lot of stuff in our schools, in our Detroit public schools. And I always wondered why we didn't use the students' creative expression to help them, one, express themselves, and to learn lessons and teach lessons. Well, I heard about something that is going on at the Frederick Douglass Academy for Young Men. It is called the Lyricist Society. Students are involved in this, and we have some students in here right now who are our guests. I'm going to introduce them right now. First of all, sitting directly in front of me is Mr. Javante King. Good morning, Mr. King.
Good morning, sir.
Fantastic. What grade are you in?
12. I'm a senior.
So you're a senior?
Yes, sir.
All right. So you're looking forward to June.
Yes, sir.
I see a little smile on your face. And then to my left is Mr. Michael Zellers, who's also a student at the Frederick Douglass Academy for Young Men. Good morning, Mr. Zellers.
Good morning.
How are you?
Pretty good.
Good.
Sir.
What grade are you in?
Senior also.
Senior? All right, I got a couple of seniors in here. Fantastic. First of all, I'm going to start with you, Mr. King. What is the Lyricist Society at Douglass Academy? What do you do? What is it about?
The Lyricist Society is a program that was created 5 years ago as like an after-school program, but it actually got bigger than what it was supposed to be. It was just something to do after school. In the Lyricist Society, we make positive music. You know, no cussing, no bad lyrics, everything is strictly positive. We talk about healthy eating. We talk about things going on in our lives. We talk about, everything positive.
Fantastic. First of all, I'm happy to hear that that still exists,
Yes, sir.
because a lot of people don't know that. And very happy that our young people here in Detroit Public Schools are involved in that. Let me turn to you, Mr. Zellers. How did you get involved in this, and what is the value you see in being involved in this program?
Well, I got involved with the Lyricist Society when I did the talent show. Mr. Nunnam said he liked my rap.
All right.
And I think that Lyricist Society is a good program for kids to be in because you get to use music and you get to relay a message.
Fantastic. And I like the fact that you say it is positive, it is straightforward. And I'll let either one of you jump in on this. There is a myth out there. This is what I believe. There is a myth that in order for music from young people to be real, it has to be somehow hard and reflecting this hard life that's out there in the street. I think that is a myth. Could you talk a little bit about music and lyrics and the purpose of music and how it does not have to be negative in order to be real and effective?
Well, that's kind of not true because I feel like for me, I don't know about everybody else, but my music, it comes from past experiences, things that I went through, throughout my life, like not being able to have a father, and you just come up with these words and you put them into like a song to make all of your feelings just come out, because sometimes teens don't really talk to their parents. You feel me? Like we gotta deal with stuff ourselves. So music is a way we can express ourselves.
I was looking at the Billboard Top 10 rap chart about a week ago, and I think Big Sean from here,
Right.
I Don't Give a Something About You was, I think, the #1 song.
Right.
There was a song by Nicki Minaj named Only. There was a song from the young lady from here, Dej Loaf, that was still on the chart.
Yeah.
I'm trying, you know the name of it, I'm trying to remember the name of it.
Right.
Try Me, okay? But everything was negative, it was profanity. Obviously, you young men don't use that. Can you give me your thoughts on those types of musical expressions?
I believe if you're going to be a music artist, you have a responsibility, and your lyrics should be conscious, because I think these kids out here need to listen to some music like that.
All right.
We don't have a lot of conscious rap.
Okay, and so there are conscious rappers out there. They just not getting
don't get a lot of
bankrolled and getting the
feedback.
airplay
Yeah.
Right,
that some of these
airplay.
negative folks get.
Right.
All right. I understand that there is a rap that you have done that talks about healthy eating.
Right.
All right? We had that queued up. We're going to listen to that right now. That is Mr. Javante King and Mr. Michael Zellers. They are in the studio. I have to tell you, gentlemen, I'm blown away. I have not heard that type of rap, that type of flow that promotes healthy eating and food.
Thank you.
Good. That's very creative. I love it. I understand there's a YouTube video too, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And it's called Nutrients?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right.
LyricistSociety.com also.
LyricistSociety.com. We're going to put it on our website as well, which is WCHB. We got to take a break right now. We have Javante King, Michael Zellers, both students at Frederick Douglass Academy for Young Men. They are part of the Lyricist Society, and we just listened to a very positive, uplifting rap about healthy eating. We're going to talk more about the music and the rap and more. Stay with us. This is AM 1200, 99.9 FM, WCHB. And we're back live here in the studios of AM 1200, 99.9 FM, WCHB. I am so pleased to have Mr. Javante King and Mr. Michael Zellers, two seniors from the Frederick Douglass Academy for Young Men, members of the Lyricist Society. Let's start back with you, Mr. Javante King. That rap that we heard before we went into the break about healthy eating, which I loved, where did the idea come from that? Or come for that, and how long does it take you to put something like that together?
Well, it actually started, Miss Reese, she started the garden. She wanted like a song to be made for the garden. The purpose for the song was to create, and the garden was to create super athletes in our school.
Okay.
So, like, not everybody, really think like the healthy eating is like, like hip and everything like that. So me and Mike,
Right.
collab on the song. Like,
Right.
hey,
Of course, when they get my age, they understand how hip it is. They start getting sick just from eating all that junk food. Right.
So we just
Uh-huh. Yep. Go right ahead. We're right with you.
so yeah, we just plan to do a song that's gonna help everybody, like plan to eat healthy. And like Miss Reese, she started bringing in like the stuff from the garden and like healthy foods for us to eat during lunchtime. And plus, you have the song, so now everybody, they feel like they're a part of something.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Zellers, are there other raps or presentations that you put together? What are the subjects that you all rap about? You say that you talk about positive things and you have positive things. What other things are on your mind that you've rapped about or you like to rap
Well,
about?
we also have a song for females called Stand Up. And the concept is basically about African American females and what we like about them, their character. We got another song called What Would You Do? We speak about when times get hard, what would you do? Would you turn to negative stuff or would you, keep going through? We got another song called
The King.
King.
All
Martin
right.
King song.
Okay, about Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
All right. No, all those are positive things.
Yeah.
And I've wanted to have this conversation for a long time. There is a lot of music out there that gets bankrolled. It gets big promotional budgets.
Right.
I mentioned to you some of the music laced with profanity, full of negative images.
Right.
Are you opposed to that? Is your music in opposition to that? Are you trying to provide a balance against that, or do you let them do their thing and you do your thing?
Well, it's definitely not about the money. It's about the message that we're trying to send with our songs.
So what you're saying is that other stuff is about the money.
I mean, you could say that. You could say that because
It is a time and place.
right.
Okay, so you're not opposed to
like
it.
that.
I mean, I'll just throw it out
Okay,
there.
but
Right. I mean, I heard, as a matter of fact, I met Big Sean. He came in here to Radio 1. Nice young man. I shook hands with him. Wish I had taken a picture with him because my kids all wanted to, see me with a picture.
Right.
But I heard the #1 rap song out there, I Don't Give a F About You, and I couldn't stand it. It had something to do about his girlfriend with some other guy now, and so I don't care nothing about you. I thought it was negative. I thought it showed an unhealthy attitude toward women and relationships, but you all don't seem to be as bothered by it as I am.
I mean, well, people nowadays, they want to give people, they make music to where, like, okay, they think they like these things. I mean, I can't knock it. Some of it is good, but I mean, that's not what we're trying to say.
Right. And the music is good. I just
Right.
don't like the negative messages that have been attached to it.
Yeah.
good. You look like you're in deep thought over there, Mr. Zellers. What's
Yeah.
on your mind?
Nah, man. Gotta tune in, man.
All right, nothing wrong with that. By the way, our number is 313-568-1200, 313-568-1200. If you have any questions or comments for these two young men, these seniors from the Frederick Douglass Academy for Young Men, members of the Lyricist Society. What does the Lyricist Society do to impact the entire school? I heard somebody say that it started out as something that was smaller and it ballooned into something larger. It must be having an impact at your school.
Yes, sir. Well, it did start out as a after-school program. You know, we had Scrabble.
Okay.
Lyricist Society. And you had Lyricist Society. Lyricist Society won out. And it basically just gives people the opportunity to express their talent.
Mm-hmm.
So we have audio engineers, young audio engineers. We have filming, and we have rappers.
So you make videos too?
And we are also working on the album. And the proceeds from the album don't go to a scholarship fund.
When that album is released, you make sure I know about it. We'll have another interview in the air about that. Maybe hear a few cuts from that.
Yeah.
Okay. What are your professional aspirations, Mr. Zellers, and how does the Lyricist Society affect that?
Well, like I said before, I do want to do communication, also psychology. Lyricist Society has gave me exposure, really. I get a lot of business cards from different people when I go to different venues and events, and kind of helped me grow as a person.
Do your classmates and your contemporaries, people your age, hear what it is you're doing and embrace it, or do they say, "That's not cool. I don't care nothing about healthy eating. I'd rather talk about I don't give a whatever about you."
Well, we are an all-male school,
Yeah.
and for us being an all-male school, you know, we are all together.
Right.
So with
Right.
us being all together, you know, as all boys, you feel me? Like
Mm-hmm.
they love everything we do, and plus we're singers, you know.
Right.
Like,
Okay. You all run the school. That's right.
You know, so I mean, of course they gonna love what we do. You know, we hear people, you know, singing up and down the hallways our music. I mean,
Mhm.
I never thought it would be like that, but that's how it is, and I guess
Wow.
people are catching on.
So the stuff that you all have done, your classmates are not only listening to it, they're singing it too.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
That's got to feel good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but not only
Yeah, but
because
they do
not just your ego, but it means that you're having an impact
Right.
on other people.
Right.
All right.
Older people like it too, really.
I'm an older person. I loved it.
Yes,
They
sir.
like the
I
music.
just listened to it and I loved it. How can people become involved in the Lyricist Society?
I mean, anyone can be involved if you have a talent, use it. So I
Mhm.
mean, anybody can.
You just show up after school and you can be there?
Yes, sir.
Talk to Mr.
Right, okay. Good. By the way, we have a Ms. Reese and Mr. Nellums, a couple of their professors here. They're trying to very quietly sit on the side, but before we get out of here today, I'm going to try to coax them to come over to the microphone too so we can get a chance to talk about how this program is put together and the great work that they are doing. What do you say to a young person, male or female, who wants to be in the rap game? They want to communicate, but they are caught up in some of these other types of lyrics. Do you encourage them to join the Lyricist Society and to maybe take a different look at how they present their art, to be more positive and to be more conscientious, as you say?
Well, number one, you got to be yourself.
All right, I like that.
Number two, when you get to the rap game, be prepared for the fame and what it's going to bring.
Mhm.
And I believe if you really want to be an artist, you have to relay a message that everybody can relate to. Sometimes it might be negative, but I mean, if you're going to tell a story, you got to tell all the ends of the story. The outcome, what it would bring if you're doing that type of life. And I mean, basically be true to yourself, yeah.
I love that because I understand that there are some very negative, hard things that are happening out here.
Right.
But that's nothing new. There were pimps and thugs and pushers. When I was a boy, we can always tell that story. But what do we say about it? Do we glorify it
Right.
or do we talk about what it really is? It is a negative manifestation
Right.
of hardships that black folks have gone through many times just wanting to, achieve economic stability for their family, but they ended up going down this bad path or this bad
And
road.
another thing with the local gardening, that can actually bring money.
Ah.
Looking at the capital type.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. You mentioned that Miss Reese has a garden there at the school.
Right.
Yes, sir.
All right. I thought that was interesting. That was the inspiration for your song.
Yes, sir.
Interesting. Are those types of positive things happening at Frederick Douglass?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
Douglas is a very powerful school. You know,
Top
it gets
5
you-
in DPS.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it gets you in, you know, in sync with a lot of things. Like my first year there, I never would have thought I would have been doing my passion at this school. You
Okay.
know, I never thought that.
And that's something that people need to know. Unfortunately, a lot of folks, when you say DPS,
Right.
they automatically go somewhere negative.
Yeah.
That is not the case. You are the living examples
Yes,
that
sir.
some very positive things are happening in DPS.
And President Douglas also have a program called Boys to Men.
Uh-huh.
And Mr. Ganson there, he teaches how to, you know, be young men. He take us on college tours. We got a mentor program.
Mhm.
We got people coming from Morehouse. They
Yes.
come down there and mentor us, and they, you know, have a good time.
Right.
Fantastic. Well, the pride of DPS and the pride of Frederick Douglass Academy right here in the studio, Javante King and Michael Zellers, a couple of members of the Lyricist Society at the Frederick Douglass Academy for Young Men. We're going to talk with their professors if we get a chance to coax them over after the break. So stay with us, folks. I'm going to see if I can twist a couple of arms and get them on here, too. In the meantime, we got to pay a couple of bills. Stay with us. This is AM 1200, 99.9 FM, WCHB. Hey, we're back live here in the studios of AM 1200, 99.9 FM, WCHB. I am so pleased to have in the studio with me not only Javante King and Michael Zellers, both seniors at the Frederick Douglass Academy for Young Men and members of the Lyricist Society there. We've talked about that. We're going to talk more about it. But also a couple of their teachers, one of them being Ms. Marquita Reese. She is the head of the gardening program. She essentially was the inspiration for the rap from these young men that we heard earlier. First of all, Ms. Reese, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Tell me what you believe the Lyricist Society does for Frederick Douglass, and how is it that these young men came to go to your garden, because you're the gardening program head at the school, and become inspired to do that?
Thank you for that question. I actually have the two young men in the studio as in my class as my student. I teach math and research, and I noticed that there was a need for a balance of nutrition. You know, I would see kids walk around with pops, you know, bags of chips, and I'm like, if you want to be at your peak performance, if you want to sustain life, if you don't want to suffer obesity, you know, childhood obesity, if you don't want, you know, the other sicknesses and illnesses that come, even cancers, we looked at what could we do right now to prevent those things going on. So it was a journey and a process to even get them, because I took their practice field, their football practice field, and I turned it into a garden. And having young men in a garden, it was, you know, kind of unknown in the city. But I sold them the vision and the dream that if you guys take a leap out on faith, not only will I create super athletes, but I've sustained your life. And with this knowledge, you can take that forward into your adulthood when you get married and sustain your homes on gardening. One seed provides many.
Mhm.
So not only that, I reached out to my colleague, which is actually next door to me in the school, Mr. Nellum, and I said, well, I want to put something together to not only influence the kids in the gardening club, but also around the community, seeing that there was a lack and need of fresh fruits and vegetables in our local area. And how do I get them attached? And we started off with a song, and it was like, in the garden, you know, out in the hot sun, and we were
Right.
thinking like, you know.
Right. So the song evolved.
Right, and so I asked King, which I knew he could sing, and he was like, well, you know, I prefer to do a rap. And I knew Mike was rapping. He was also new to our school. So I said, well, you guys get together, you know, with everything you've learned, from nutrients to vitamins, and put something together and let me hear it. And we corresponded back and forth on that, and they got with Mr. Nellings, which was our key person, to bring the vision and the passion all together, emphasizing what message did we want to not only get out to the classmates, but to our community and the world as a whole.
Fantastic. Let me ask you this again real quick, too, before I go to Mr. Nellums. These are obviously very impressive young men. What does it say about the marriage between creative expression of these young men and education and knowledge, enabling them to not only come up with a creative song like that, but to learn what they've learned about nutrition. Now they won't forget because it was a part of their creative expression. I think that's a better model for learning. Could you talk about that briefly?
Absolutely. What I provided them with was a STEM, and from there they had to go and dig deeper into the knowledge and understanding. And by them taking the lead to know more or wanting to know more, it was internalized within them. And so the little spoonfuls of knowledge that we provide them, the opportunity to learn, it heightens as they research more, as they live more, as they take it in personally. So the bridging of what the little trinket we give them is much more when they're internalized and they start to live it. So bridging education was something that they love to do. Is astronomical beyond what the classroom teacher can do. They have to embrace it and do it themselves.
Fantastic. Let me go back to you real quick, Mr. Javante King. Does it make for a better relationship between you and your teachers when you can share something like this? Share the good information, but also do it in a way where you can express yourself creatively.
Yes, it does, because it actually proves to my teachers that I was listening in class. That I was listening in class. You know, I was doing what I was supposed to do, and also, you know, share my passion with them.
Absolutely. Mr. Zellers, do you feel that it's a better way to learn when you can take this information and then express it creatively?
Right, because it did feel good knowing that I can read something and then put it into lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
And in a rhyming form, so that did feel good. That's my first time making a song like that without cursing. My first time making a song about nutrients.
Mm-hmm.
And my first time actually recording.
Wow. First time you've done one without cursing. I think that's significant too. You know, we're going to have you guys back at some point. We're going to talk some more about this. We actually have callers on the line though right now. We're going to go to our first caller. I want to put on the line right now Mr. Quan Nellums. He's a social studies teacher and the advisor for the Lyricist Society at Frederick Douglass. Mr. Nellums, first of all, I applaud you. Tell us a little bit about how people get involved in this at your school.
Well, actually, the Lyricist Society, if you're someone who has a talent or interest, whether it's in hip-hop, spoken word, we've also expanded into students who are interested in film editing, recording. If you're interested in being involved, you know, you just come in pretty much but you have to hold to two simple rules. There should be no profanity, and you have to talk about something progressive.
Which are good things.
Those are the only rules. Yeah.
Absolutely. Have you found that the young people who participate in this are uplifted academically and socially?
Yeah, it's like the young men were saying, you know, this is a way that students conceptualize whatever they learn, put in their own cultural context. And not only, you know, we know that the highest form of learning is being able to teach it to somebody else. And so for them to put it in rap form, rhyme form, spoken word, and share it with others via social media, live shows, it shows that they actually understood and were able to, you know.
We got about a minute and a half left. Is this something that is going to expand perhaps to other schools?
Yeah, we hope so. We hope to expand it to other schools, that Frederick Douglass would be the flagship, but other schools would take on. We'd be able to put it into other schools and have you know, meeting, whatever, amongst all the lyricists across the city. So yeah, we do hope to expand it.
Fantastic. We are just about out of time. We have run out of time. Mr. Javante King, Mr. Michael Zellers, Ms. Marquita Reese, and Mr. Quan Nellums, I cannot thank you enough. I am so happy that I have been turned on to this. We got to have you back sometime.
All right, we'd love to come out.
All right, fantastic. These are all people from Frederick Douglass Academy for Young Men. Outstanding, the Lyricist Society. I'm glad I got turned on to them. We will have them back. Got to get out of here. This is AM 1200, 99.9 FM, WCHB.